マイケル・ジャクソンの一番好きな色は何ですか？
5 hacking tips this week. Glad you could join me, and changing the format around a little bit, but finally got it settled into a regular episode. This week I wanted to talk about, sorry about that. Let me get a little bit of preparation here, but I wanted to talk about BloodHound because that came up in the 39-minute video forest walkthrough that I did last week. And by the time I got to privilege escalation, I was already well into the video and beyond the time that I wanted to go. So here I am. This week we'll cover BloodHound. Specifically, we'll take a look at it. And then also I wanted to cover like a current topic that's coming up on LinkedIn, which is this PK exec exploit from PwnKit. So first of all, a look at BloodHound. So what we did with Hack the Box Forest machine last week was we got in as this service al fresco. By the way, this is full of spoilers. All of my videos are full of spoilers. Don't watch them if you don't want to get spoiled on some of these boxes. But these are very basic boxes. They're actually better even if you just walk through it because it's a good experience. But anyways, we got in as service al fresco, and we got into the box, logged in with WinRM, evil WinRM, which in and of itself is another discussion I might have down the road. But it's a very useful tool. It drops you right into a PowerShell if it's available, and it's a good shell for Windows, especially if you're working from a Linux box. But and then we upload SharpHound, which is basically there's SharpHound and there's BloodHound, and SharpHound is the local exec or binary that you run on the Windows machine that you want to escalate on, and it basically gathers a lot of information about the domain environment, and then you get that. Basically, it's a loot file that's created, and it's usually named whatever, maybe the date or something, and then underscore bloodhound.zip. Actually, it's listed right here. If we take a look at right here where I've listed the files in Forest, it looks like it is the date and maybe a time or something. Anyways, you take that and you basically dump it into BloodHound, or you open the file in BloodHound. We'll do that in just a second. And with BloodHound, for me anyways, when I decided to do the box this way, there was an install challenge, and for that I actually show you the exact link that I used. It's basically this right here, how to install and configure BloodHound on Kali Linux. It's on the kalilinux.in website. Anyways, that's here in the presentation, I think. Yeah, right here. And let's get to it. So let me oh, sorry about that. I wasn't even showing you my screen. Apologize. Right here is probably where you want to pause the video, take a look at the links and that kind of thing. Ping me, send something through chat or whatever. If you want a copy of these files, I'll put it up on the web somewhere. Nobody has, but I thank you for all the subscriptions, and thank you for all the views. It's much appreciated. Anyway, so I'm going to jump right to it. Let me get back to the command prompt here. So we've got bloodhound.zip here. So with BloodHound basically runs over the top. So with SharpHound, you have that you run on the target machine that you want to escalate on. You get the loot file from there. You download it. I prefer, if you can use it, evil WinRM for doing all this uploading and downloading. but you do that. That's the quickest way anyways with a lot of these boxes. But you download it, and then you basically can drag and drop it into BloodHound. But BloodHound in and of itself is an install. I found it wasn't something that I could just apt install. Well, actually you can on Kali, you can apt install it. But getting it started and understanding what it is. So it basically runs, BloodHound itself runs on top of Neo4j. So right here, yeah, right there, it just pops out. So I'm going to say start here. Right, so it pops up on localhost. And then from there, it's as simple as running BloodHound. And then this interface pops up. And there's a password there. There's a default password. When you log in, change the password. I've already done that. So when BloodHound, this is what happened last week when I was going through Forest, because when this pops up, it's a bit daunting. But if you go in here and you click on a node, I basically clicked on a member node. So click on here, you know, it's a bit daunting, but if you go in here and you just hit the analysis tab, there's all kinds of analysis that are already scripted into this program. So the one that for that particular machine and for the escalation that we want to do, and also if you're a blue teamer, for the analysis, like, you know, to look at what rights across the domain that different accounts have, and to determine whether that's properly controlled or not is another way to approach it. But in this case, we're looking for shortest way to domain admin. So we basically click that and it pops all of this out. And by doing this, we can see that, you know, let's make it so we can see the names a little better. We see that service alfresco, where is that? Right here, it's up here. We see that service alfresco right here, which is what we have access to. Excuse me. Has he's a member of service accounts, and because he has a membership to service accounts, he has well, through this association, he belongs to account operators, and by belonging to account operators, he has generic all, or that group has generic all access to this Exchange Windows permissions group. And then because of that, there's a right DACL, WRATEDACL, privilege that's granted to the domain. So the quick and dirty way here is, like, we right click on this right DACL here, where it says that it has that right or shows that right, and we look at that and we drill down in here, and you can look at abuse info, and right in there it shows you the code or that you need to basically input at the command line to escalate. That's BloodHound in a nutshell, and it starts there. So it's very handy both for looking at privileged access analysis as a preventive way when you're assessing the security of a domain or of Active Directory particularly. And on the other side, if you're in a box or a CTF situation or a red teaming situation, hopefully perfectly legal, it's a really quick way of finding your way to domain admin access. Okay, so that's BloodHound. It's going to be quick today. So the next thing I wanted to touch on is basically, it's kind of a current events thing. Not really current events, but over the last week, this gentleman, John H. on LinkedIn, he's a blogger and a video logger and stuff like that. And he's got some really good videos on YouTube. And he brought this up, which is related to CV. I forgot what it is. Right here, CV 2021-4034. And he was showing like how easy it is to get in with just running certain shell commands, and including that exec. And here's another one. This just came up yesterday. It's from Sean Wharton, and he was showing this video. Let's do that one more time. So, current privileges, regular. And then looks at the current privileges or runs. Okay. And there it is. So, that's amazing. And how do you get that? Well, I found out how to. So I basically read the write-up from Qualys. It's quite interesting. They get down to the deep and dirty of why it is the way it is. But here is the proof of concept code written in C. So if you look at the C, it's basically a bunch of command calls to the system. So could very easily be in a shell script instead of a binary file, although that would be an interesting payload. Yeah. So in other news, that's about what I wanted to cover today. Thank you for your time.